What's up, YouTube? It's Zaya here from Zaya&TheSteelers, back with another video. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers making the same mistakes over and over again. So if you guys are Steelers fans or you enjoy NFL content in general, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. Shout out to the people who have subscribed already. And shout out to the future subscribers, man. Also, let's get a shout out to the members. If you guys would like to support me and this channel more, hit that join button down in the description below. And yes, we are back. We have a new wall. We're having the setup come together. Honestly, I turned on the OBS and I was like, holy shit. It's like I got a new camera because of like the solid background. And of course, I am working on the background stuff. I have my Zaya&TheSteelers sign I still got to hang up. I have another terrible towel I want to get up here. I want to get another helmet. I want to get all types of stuff. I have a Kenny Pickett jersey I want to get up. But I couldn't wait this long without making a video, man. It's been so long. I have not made a video since our playoff loss against the Baltimore Ravens, and that is for a number of reasons. The first reason being, I kind of wanted to just let stuff cook. I kind of wanted to just let the process play out, and I wanted to see what the Steelers would do. I expected something to happen. I didn't think I'd be coming on here without significant changes being made, given the fact that we lost another first-round playoff game against the Baltimore Ravens. And here we are, since the wild card weekend, the Baltimore Ravens are now eliminated from the playoffs. You know who is in the NFC Championship right now? The Washington Commanders. Who did we beat in this regular season? We beat the Washington Commanders. Not to say, things didn't change from that point to now, because clearly we fell the fuck off and clearly Washington rose the hell up. Not to say, things aren't different then, but the point still remains. We had all of the makings of this good team. We had all of the talent. It was right there, and somehow, some way, we just crumbled it all away again. And so, yes, I thought, maybe we would get rid of our offensive coordinator. We would get rid of our defensive coordinator. I thought we would get rid of our line coach. I thought maybe even possibly potentially. I didn't really think this. I promise you, I'm not this naive. But, maybe something happens with Mike Tomlin, right? For a split second, given the loss, maybe. If it happened, right? But we were never, one, supposed to beat Baltimore. And two, that's probably going to be the first topic of this video because I kind of want to talk about a bunch of things in this one. I'm not sure how long it'll be. But as mad as you guys are at Tomlin, as mad as I am at Tomlin, as mad as the whole world is at Tomlin for some reason, we aren't going to get rid of the guy. We are at least going to let this contract play out. I know it's been a while with no playoff success. I know, things have gone wrong for us, but we have still been a pretty good team. Say 10 wins is 10 wins, and you guys got to understand that. I don't know why we just feel the need. Well, it's because we've had it year after year after year after year. We've been blessed, we've been spoiled, we have Steelers fans, but this doesn't happen. There is clearly evidence of good coaching with Mike Tomlin, and so we're not just going to get rid of the guy. And maybe that would solve things, maybe it would. But for now, Mike Tomlin is our guy. But past him, every other coach on this roster, on this team, and I'm willing to admit this, Mike Tomlin, any kind of coach that he has had influence in hiring, any coach that he has influence over the play calling, anytime Mike Tomlin is allowed to chime in, at this point, we need to take that responsibility out of Mike Tomlin's hands. I will for sure admit that, while at the same time, I think he can be that leader. I think he can be that overall domino factor or whatever. I think Mike Tomlin can be that guy. I think the fact that there is this much discussion around it, I think the fact that, we have Steelers fans year in and year out calling for the guy's job, I think that is a bit much, right? But past that, and there's a clear sign of negligence here. There's a clear sign of when Mike Tomlin is picking these guys, when Mike Tomlin is comfortable with the coordinators, it just hasn't gone good recently. And so we need to take that responsibility out of his hands. Next up, the top most important coach that we need to get rid of. And I'm not here to, call out people's jobs or whatever, even though that's what I'm doing. It's not deeper than me watching the Steelers, and I really like the Steelers and I really want them to win. And so we got to win a playoff game. And if we can't win a playoff game, changes have to be made. And that's the reason why I'm saying this. The top guy who needs to go is our offensive line coach, Pat Meyer, man. And that is the guy who needs to go. And hey, there's a lot of other coaches, there's a lot of other, maybe players we point to who didn't play good. But I think, in my opinion, our offensive line not being where it is, our offensive line where we're having two tackles pull on the same play, that same offensive line, that same scheming is the biggest hindrance to this team. It goes so far that if we wanted to let Arthur Smith rock it out, I think his ceiling is really low. I don't think, Arthur Smith is going to be this offensive coordinator of the year. I don't think we're ever going to turn this guy into 48 points a game or something like that. I'm not saying Arthur Smith is really him. But what I will say is, with this offensive line scheming, with this offensive line coaching, and perhaps maybe even with this offensive line talent, maybe Arthur Smith has an asterisk. Like, I know you guys are gonna boo me because I kept Tomlin and I'm giving Arthur Smith bail, but I'm not gonna get on here and lie to you guys. You know how many views I would probably get, how many like thumbs up and like subscribes and likes I would get if I was on here like, yo, Mike Tomlin stinks. It'd be so easy too. Like, everybody is down on Mike Tomlin. It would be so easy for me to come on here and be like, yeah, we gotta get rid of Tomlin. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be the easiest thing to do. Same thing with Arthur Smith. Like, yeah, we gotta get rid of Arthur Smith. Low key, we should get rid of Arthur Smith. We should go get another OC, but I'm just saying this 1 year span that he had, also having to use two quarterbacks, which apparently him and Russell Wilson weren't really clicking throughout the year. I think Arthur Smith has a little bit of an asterisk to him. And so if you want to keep him, you want to be this, this stable organization. You want to be this top 3, top 2, top 1 organization. You want to be like on the NFL maps or whatever. Like the Pittsburgh Steelers, we're a very good organization. We have a very good rep, and we do a lot to protect that rep, including keeping Mike Tomlin around for this long. Like, we've only had 3 coaches ever. We love doing shit like this. We will draft your little brother if you're good for us on the team. Like, we'll just do that. We are a world-class organization, right? And so if you want to continue to do that with Arthur Smith because he only got a year, okay, fine. Okay, hands are up. It is what it is. You want to keep Arthur Smith for another year? It's a waste of time, but okay, fine. We can do that. I understand why you think that. But our offensive line coach has to go, man. It hasn't been good. We're playing players in the wrong position constantly. We're losing players to new teams, and they play better on new teams constantly. And it's just, like, our running game isn't our running game. We drafted Najee Harris to be, this guy, and I don't know if he's going to be that guy or if he's going to be back on the team. He's played okay, but this scheming, this schematics, and it kind of gives Najee Harris himself an asterisk. Like, to me, the line has been so bad that you're allowed to say these things. Like, hey, maybe Najee Harris didn't exactly get the best go of it. Maybe Russell Wilson didn't get the best go of it. Maybe such and such player, X player here, Kenny Pickett there, this person there. Like, our offensive line has played that bad. And if you don't think so, then, disagree with me. But I think our offensive line is our biggest hindrance, the biggest reason why we can't do shit ever. And it's just the glaring factor of it all. We want to be this run dominant team, and we can't get the push like we once did before. Like, we can't accomplish these things. We knew all year, what was the drama, what was the stories. The Steelers don't have a wide receiver. The Steelers passing game isn't going to be good. We didn't even have a quarterback, according to you guys. Like, Justin Fields and Russell Wilson were ass according to everybody else. And so, like, we didn't have a quarterback. We didn't have wide receivers. But you know what we had? We had 2 running backs. Jalen Warren dealt with injury a lot. We had Cordero Patterson for that. That's crazy timing that. And when we get Cordero Patterson, Jalen Warren starts going down with injuries. It is what it is. No conspiracies here. I'm just saying that's crazy timing. But the point still remains. We were going to be a running team this year. That was supposed to be our bread and butter, and we flat out couldn't do it. Not only because of the injuries, not only because maybe Najee Harris isn't exactly that guy, but for the most part, our offensive line stinks. It stinks. Not the players themselves, because I think like Mason McCormick we drafted this year, fucking fantastic pick. Zach Frazier we drafted this year, fantastic pick. Samalu has been kind of hit or miss, but sometimes he hoops, sometimes he doesn't. James Daniels, same thing. He was hurt, but I think when he plays, he's pretty solid. Troy Fautanu we lost for the year. Who did we have come in? Dan Moore, who played pretty good through 8 weeks of the season. And then Broderick Jones, who, plays good sometimes. And he had a good 3 to 4 game stretch. But, you watch tape and he's playing the wrong position. I get it. But you watch tape and Broderick Jones is getting smoked constantly. And so, like, it's not like we have this star-studded offensive line. But we're also not scrubs. Like, we should be playing better than what we have. And I'm hoping next year with a new coach, with a Troy Fautanu healthy, with a Broderick Jones hopefully in the right place, with another year under Frazier's belt, under Mason McCormick's belt, maybe we'll get James Daniels back. We'll see, or we'll have to do something else about the guard position. Maybe Samalu will come back. No matter what, I think our line on talent, on paper-wise, will be good. It all comes back down to the coaching, and I just don't think we're there yet. And so that, to me, is the absolute biggest need that we have to have happen for things to start changing around here. If we keep Pat Meyer, I don't like, if we literally run it back with this same team, I would have to see it to believe it, because this year was the closest I think we have been to finally getting this playoff win. I erased it in my mind. I swore to the world that we were going to do it. I swore up and down to friends, to families, to coworkers. Like, I thought the Steelers had it this year. And once again, we did the same shit we did last year. We did the same shit we did 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years. Keep it going all the way back to like 2016. We've been doing this now for almost 10 years. Like, this is so ridiculous that we cannot get a playoff win. This year, I thought I was fooled. I was fooled. I thought we had it and we didn't have it. And so if we roll into next season with the same coaches, then I think that's going to be a huge problem, and we're probably not going to get the job done, but I'll still, trick myself anyway. Speaking of the coaches, I don't want to just glance over this fact too, because I haven't mentioned it yet, but Terrell Austin, our defensive coordinator, to me, he's got to go too, because we cannot continuously go into these playoff games down 21 points. I said that in my pregame video about how this game is going to go. Hey, if we go down early, if we just start getting spanked, then, we got no chance. This is exactly what continuously happens to us in the playoffs, and it's just inexcusable. And Mike Tomlin plays a big factor in this too, because he is Mr. Defensive Mind. He is Mr. Defensive Coach. And so I don't know if it's him who needs to change, if it's Terrell Austin. I don't know, but Terrell, he's got to go. I'm willing to stick with Mike Tomlin, of course. I'm willing to do that. But we need to have a new defensive coordinator, and we might need to look at playing a whole kind of different kind of defense, because people are constantly wide open. If we don't sack the quarterback, it's a negative play. Like, we're getting beat 30 yards down the field if we don't get a sack. We could, of course, use more help in the secondary. We could, of course, put Minkah back to whatever the hell he was doing before, because this time Minkah he just wasn't a factor, and he got like burnt out throughout the season. His effort in these playoff games, I swear, it's like every single playoff game, Minkah Fitzpatrick like has these like missed tackles or like lack of effort plays that can no longer be happening. So Terrell Austin, he has to answer for it. He has to go. And maybe we got to do a new defensive scheme. I'm not sure exactly about these X's and O's. Like, I play Madden, guys. Like, we got to, I play Madden. And so we'll see how that goes. But Terrell Austin has got to go. And that, to me, like, that shouldn't be controversial. That shouldn't be, like a hot take. Like, honestly, we should have got rid of Terrell Austin last year in Buffalo. It is just, once again, it is just so ridiculous how we have the highest paid defense. Like, the offense, you can say whatever you want. We have no wide receivers. We have Najee Harris out there. We have a bad offensive line. We have Russell Wilson, who maybe stinks, right? We have all these like things on the offense that like give it kind of an asterisk. Like, we know that's not going to be good. But the defense is what we keep hoping and praying for. Like, we need you guys to be good. And consistently, they are not good in the playoffs. And so someone has to answer for that. Terrell Austin, to me, is the choice to do that. And so he's got to go. Do we need a new wide receivers coach given the talent in our room? I'm not sure. Do we need a new we don't need a new special teams coach. That's for damn sure. We don't need a new one of him. We don't need, like, I don't know. Past that, I'll be honest, guys. Like, I love the Steelers. I love the Steelers to death, low key. But, like, I don't really know these coaches like that. And so maybe we should just get a whole revamp and new faces in the building. Maybe that is the right move. Like, past, like, the top level offensive, defensive coordinator, like, past those, like, the tree down. Maybe we get rid of them too. Do with that if you want, Pittsburgh Steelers. But I'm just saying, these top guys, these head guys, they gotta go. Mike Tomlin can stay, but he needs to have 0 to like 5% at most influence on the hiring process. Because to me, he's lost that privilege. And like, Mike Tomlin, if you see this, I love you, man. Like, Mike Tomlin, you are my coach, you are my guy. I swear it is gonna have to take significant like 3 more of these losses for me to get on here on my channel, on my platform, and call for Mike Tomlin's job. Like, I'm not gonna do that. I love Mike Tomlin. And so I'm willing to ride it out with him. But the influence that he has, like he's picking his coaches, no more of that shit. Please, he's not allowed to do it anymore. Omar Khan, you got to take that away from him. Rooney, you got to take that away from him. At the very least, we can do that. But past that, I think, I still think we're pretty good, man. Like, we just had such an unfortunate series of events. We just had such an unfortunate collapse that, like, everyone's ready to nuke the team. Everyone's ready to trade Mr. George Pickens when, like, guys, we got Russell Wilson throwing him the ball, man. Like, we can be honest about this now. I was into Russ before. Like, I thought he was gonna play better than what he did early in the season when he got to play. Things were going good, but the whole Steelers, the Steelers in general, were playing good earlier, and then all of a sudden everybody fell off. And so Russell Wilson, at his age and probably what his contract is gonna be, I'm willing to let him go. I think we should start Justin Fields next year, or at the very least give him a better opportunity to play next year than we did this year, right? Like, I think Justin Fields is a real answer for us at quarterback for right now, because this draft, people pull out these Brock Purdy prospects all the time. Someone played pretty good this year, not Jaden Daniels, but the guy in Denver, he went pretty high too, Drew Lock. What is it, Bo Nix? Bo Nix went like top 10, I think, right? But, maybe we find a quarterback like that in the draft. But we're picking 21. I don't think we're going to get that prospect this year. Maybe we'll worry about it next year, because I still think Justin Fields is a raw talent, and I still think he has the ability to be a pretty good quarterback for us when the offense is not supposed to be this, like, dominant shit. Like, we would love for it to be, and like, low key, with the way the NFL is going, you kind of need it to be. But Justin Fields can play just good enough for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he's going to lose us these games. And on top of that, Chicago used to be in shootouts all the time. Ohio State, where Justin Fields played, they just won the national championship. Has nothing to do with Justin Fields, but I'm just saying, in these moments, he can compete. It was once there. He's been doing it his whole life. And so if he was given the opportunity, if we had to go out and win a shootout and we had a new OC, we had a little bit of better weapons, I'm supposed to look at Justin Fields and just be like, nah, he won't do it. Like, I think that's a little crazy, and if you guys disagree, then you disagree. But I still think Justin Fields can be a guy for us, right? So quarterback, you let Russell Wilson go, you keep Justin Fields. Running back, I've said it a lot of times on my channel, man. Najee Harris, I love the guy. I fell back in love with him this season, early on in the season, but I think we should let Najee Harris go. Like, that's really all I want to say about that. We should let Najee go. It is what it is. And we should re-sign Jaylen Warren and then maybe draft a running back in this draft because it is pretty loaded. Maybe get the guy from Ohio State, Judikins. Maybe get someone like later in the draft. And then that's just our running back room. Once again, I talked about it earlier, but Najee Harris maybe hasn't benefited from the best offensive line. He maybe hasn't benefited from like the most insane offense to be playing in. And so, you give him some flack for that. If he's going to a new team, he'll probably be pretty good. Like, not too much on Najee. Like, he'll probably eat. And so, I'm not saying that he's just whack or whatever. I just don't think we need to re-sign a running back at this point. And the running back is Najee. I just don't think we need to do that. And so it is what it is with that. So I talked about quarterback, running back. Next, I'm going to look at George Pickens. Shout out to this poster. I got this from a coworker for Secret Santa. And I know what you're thinking. It's January 22nd. I'm very appreciative though that I did finally get this, and we lost to the Ravens. I got it really late, but it looks super nice. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you. But speaking of wide receivers, man, George Pickens, y'all Steelers fans, man, we gotta chill. We gotta relax. Maybe you guys see the writing on the wall. I know you got the 40 pluses, the 50 pluses, the 60, the 70, the 80 pluses. I know you guys have been watching for a while. I know you guys have seen a lot of players come and go, right? But it is just too early to give up on George Pickens, man. I know we shouldn't trade the guy. We shouldn't trade him yet. We should keep George Pickens, get him some help. And then from there, we'll see. As far as help, we'll probably look at somebody in free agency this year. I saw maybe even Cooper Kupp would be available. I don't know. Like, we have to figure this out, though. We have to get him some help. And there is no way we don't get him some help this year. It would make no sense for the Steelers not to get another wide receiver in the draft and free agency or something. They would make absolutely little to no sense for this team not to make a splash there because we have to. I just don't see, and at the same breath saying, like, we're a competing ass team. If we were just publicly like, hey, yeah, we're tanking, we suck, like, we're not going to be very good, it's a rebuilding year. Like, if we were like that, then okay. I would see us, riding this out and not getting another wide receiver and like hoping like Roman Wilson comes back healthy, hoping Calvin Austin continues to step up or whatever. Like, I could see that. But we are a team who like says out there, hey, we want to win a Super Bowl. We can win a Super Bowl. We're keeping Mike Tomlin, so like we have to make that change if we're going to be this team. And so, I fully expect us to get a wide receiver. I think we'll probably draft one. And then as far as needs, like we're kind of built, man. We need another corner. We need somebody else on the defensive line to help stop the run. We need to figure out how to stop the run. We need to fucking send all forces to stop the run. And then past that though, like I think we're there. It is just the coaching, it is the schematics, and it is the motivation, man. We're here to talk about that too. And I know Mike Tomlin is this guy. We all seen Hard Knocks. Once we started losing, I stopped watching Hard Knocks. I don't know if it was hard to tell. And also, YouTube kept copywriting me. HBO kept coming to get me. It is what it is. But I stopped watching it when we started losing. And so this like fall off late in the season has to stop. Whatever it is, we need to figure it out. And we need to address it. I saw a fucking podcast with, guess what? Eric Ebron, funny enough. Eric Ebron was on a podcast, and he was saying in 2020 when we went 11-0, like we should have went undefeated and blah, 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 blah. Like we should have did all this. But then like a meeting happened, and like the vibes just fell off. We need to stop having the vibes fall off. We need the leaders of the team, the TJ Watts, the Cameron Haywards, if he's still around, all these people. I'm not saying they're not doing it. I'm not saying these guys are bad leaders. I'm just saying we need this to continue through into the playoffs and shit. And, they're trying. If they're trying, let it be known. Start calling people out publicly, man, by name. Because at this point, this like keeping it in the locker room shit, it's not working, man. We need to start pointing out these bad apples that are like fucking up the team vibes or whatever. If it's George Pickens that everyone's saying, all the fans are saying if it's George Pickens, let us know. So that way we can like act accordingly as fans. Like we're just sitting here pointing fingers at people like, maybe it was Minka, maybe it was this, maybe it was, we need to figure this shit out. And so leaders, we need to keep the vibes high. And how do you do that with calling out players? I'm not sure, but as the sooner we stop the shit, the sooner we figure out what is wrong, then the sooner we can get back on the right track. And so we got to keep the vibes high. We got to keep the morale going. And next season, you know, I think we're going to be a pretty good team next season, man. I think we might fuck around and win the Super Bowl next season if we make significant changes to the coaching staff and Mike Tomlin's influence on the play calling, Mike Tomlin's influence on the hiring, Mike Tomlin's influence on all of these things. If it's taken away, I think we'll be, you know, not taken away fully, by the way. Just, you know, just Mike Tomlin can't be deciding our OC anymore. He lost that privilege. I talked about it. He lost that privilege. He can't be deciding what defense we're running anymore. And this is crazy that me from my bedroom was calling out Mike Tomlin, a fucking 30-year NFL veteran or whatever. It's crazy. But just in my opinion, I don't think he should be allowed to do this shit anymore because in every playoff game, we start off getting smoked. Every playoff game, wide receivers are open. It's like if teams game plan against us on defense, if they practice, if they scrimmage hard, they'll beat us because we don't adjust. We run the same shit we ran now that we did in 2008. You know, like we're running that same defense. It just doesn't work anymore, man. And so those changes need to be made. And if they are made, then like I said, I like us in the Super Bowl, man. But anyways, I think that is going to do it for me for this video. Like I said, I just kind of came on here and yapped again. It is what it is. I had a good time. I wanted to show off the background. I also wanted to come back, you know, to making videos. I've been sick too. This shit it's been killing me, but it is what it is. Anyways, though, guys, I think that is going to do it for me. I will see you in the next video. I make videos about the Pittsburgh Steelers all the time. We are back. The off-season process is here. Low-key, unless, you know, we're hooping. My favorite part of the year, so it is what it is. Check out the channels on the video. Check out the videos on the channel. Anyways, this has been Zaya from Zaya and the Steelers, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.